See, that was terrible. I'm sorry to the podcast listeners. That was an accident. Apologies. Jesus Christ. Who put this here? Oh my gosh. All right, here we go. This is it. We're doing it. We're actually doing it. I'll close the whole thing here. Create the illusion. Here we go. Good evening. Welcome back. Sorry for the delay. My name is Jay Ryan. You're here for the Late Night Playset. Thanks for being here. It's our second to last show before the holidays. The beard has grown out almost as much as it's going to be. We'll see where it gets to on Thursday. I personally can't wait for a haircut because I just had to do when you're in grade school and it's photo day, you go to the restroom and wet your hands and kind of mat it all down. I just did that because it's very wispy. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. Last week on the show, Nicole got a haircut live. Maybe we'll work that in for me at some point. I don't know. But hers was great, so go watch that show if you haven't yet, because we got to talk to Will the whole time, too, which was a blast. He's hilarious. Tonight, though, this is the show that you're watching tonight, though. We've got a great guest. Sergeant Charles Woodruff, retired. That's right. But also he is the CEO and I think he's the board director as well of Acceler8, Acceler8.org. So we're going to be talking to him about the charity, what it does, what the foundation is all about, what the organization is all about, and how the Autoimmunity Foundation can be helpful in the future and vice versa, how we'll be working together in the future. So all of that and more, the good stuff here. Look who's with us with her short haircut. That looks crazy. It's the first time seeing it in the set. You look fantastic.
Thanks.
Also, we've got we don't have the Instagram. That went down. But all the way out there in Canada, wow, you look great, buddy. Looks like you're really working on your space and everything. It's Canadian Mike, host of the Letterman podcast as well.
It's great to be here, and the beard is coming in very well. I can't wait to see the final product.
Yeah, 2 more days. 2 more days. That'll be the magic amount of growth. Although you know how beards go, it is kind of funny because sometimes it doesn't grow for a week and then overnight it seems like it goes about a half inch. So you could be right. I'm looking more at your Letterman podcast set that you have built in your studio there. Not only does it look great, it looks like it's a little advanced. Have you been working on it or something's different? Your lighting's better, something's different.
It's coming along. It's coming along. We put the Late Night Bumpers book up. Because we love Mark Carson and whatnot, but yeah, no, it's a bit of a different angle. We're just tweaking some things here until we build the window case.
All right, the window case, exactly. All right, well, more to come on that. More to come with Sergeant. I'm going to say that every time because I I love to recognize the law enforcement with Sergeant, retired, but Sergeant Charles Woodruff is going to be in here in just a few minutes. More to come right after this. Will, kick us off. Back in 2 and 2. this towards you. And and I'll set up. We're not quite to you yet, but I'll set up some other stuff for you as well. In the meantime, producer Mike, say hello to Nicole while I tell everyone that it is Tuesday, December 20th, 2022. Take it away, Mike.
Nicole, you look fantastic.
No, that's Will.
Oh no, that's not.
I tell you,
Pull the bait
I
and
told
switch
Woody,
on
nothing
me.
has worked today. Nothing. The front door buzzer didn't work. The elevator didn't work. Like, literally nothing has worked today. The email I tried to send them on Friday apparently didn't go through. Nothing has worked. So just know that here you go. There you go.
This is the best. This is the best way to work, though.
Full treatment.
It's the best. If everything was perfect, it would just be boring, right?
Here we go. There's your money. These are the other things
It's the second darkest day of the year, but Nicole, you
Yes.
have lit up our lives with that haircut right now.
Really?
Oh, it looks so good.
Thank you.
Like I said
I'm
before, it
not
looks
sure
like you could-
about it yet. I remember every time I see it in the mirror. It's silly.
Is it trippy?
Yeah. I think you did.
Now I think everything's working. Now you have an understanding. Now you can see yourself. You see the red lights. The rest is pretty self-explanatory.
So cool.
Okay. Everybody, this is Woody. We're going to be talking to Woody in just a second. Did we have a crazy weekend? I can't remember what the heck even happened this weekend. No, I think it was okay. Everything was
I think
fine.
it was okay.
Nice, good vibes. Sunday in Malibu. I
Yeah.
think that was it. Thanks to everybody who joined us in Malibu. Sorry to Reggie Watts who drove around the parking lot and didn't find where we were and ended up driving back to Silver Lake before I saw his text. Sorry. We'll make up for it this week. We have found a new place that we absolutely love over there in Malibu at the Point. I guess it's Point Doom Shopping Center. Could it be that simple? But it's La Café de la Plage and Lily's over there. A couple great restaurants and a nice little chill spot.
It's a great spot.
Yes.
And it's kind of not. It's a place that can't become a scene because there just isn't room for it.
Yeah.
So it just will never become a scene, you know. And I guess that's that. Okay, so business. Got to do the business real quick, and then we are going to be talking about Acceler8 the charity. We're going to be talking about your former law enforcement. How many years?
27 full time, and then I had 3 years as a reserve, so almost 30 years.
Yeah, 30 years. That's amazing. It's amazing because we'll get into it. In that line of work, sometimes a long life is not necessarily. It can be dangerous work.
Oh yeah, definitely. The job itself is dangerous,
And then people don't stay in it that long.
And then the medical and all the other stuff that can happen later, and all the stress. So, but we've definitely changed a lot over the years, being able to manage that.
Oh, I look forward to hearing about that.
Yeah.
Figure out how the law enforcement is managing all that stress. I wouldn't want that job. Kudos to you and everybody who does it. Check out our friend Adam Ferrara, who also supports law enforcement and firefighters nonstop in his shows. Having played, what was he, a captain on Rescue Me? Played a firefighter. He was the captain of the station, right? I think.
I believe I didn't watch that show. Sorry.
More of a Nurse Jackie fan. Top Gear.
Top Gear.
Anyway, go to adamferrara.com and check his dates. He is out there playing this holiday break before he comes back here to be in studio with us in the new year. Also, we recorded an episode of his podcast a couple weeks ago that will be out soon that I'm looking forward to because I don't remember a damn thing that we talked about. What else is new? When you never shut the hell up, how could you remember it all? Our friend Byron Bowers is all over the place, but especially this week on the Smoking Tire podcast. Please watch it. I love both of those guys. Byron Bowers is just one of our greatest friends. He's an awesome human being. Check out his special on Hulu right now entitled Byron Bowers. The underline is spiritual N-word. I'm pretty sure you can just type in spiritual and it'll fill in the rest. It's an incredible show. It's a wonderful storytelling. It's an experience. I don't know how to describe it. It's not just a stand-up special.
It's not jokey. Like, it's meeting him and knowing him. It all is there.
Yeah. And there's some pretty prolific stuff, too, when it comes to how to live your life better. And he's just a good guy. So check that out on The Smoking Tire. Magnus Walker's Urban Outlaw 10 exhibit is going on at the Peterson now through January 31st. In fact, there's something going on with Avance. wonderful opportunity to bring up this. The new Avance just came out. Avance is doing an event with Magnus on January 7th. If you are an Avance member, you are invited to this, and you can get your tickets online. This is the type of magazine you get when you subscribe to Avance. It's really, really beautiful, plentiful, high quality, good stuff. I obviously didn't read it that quickly. If you can, kudos to you. But I think it's something going on at the Peterson. It's Magnus has given a private tour of his exhibit, which is cool. And then I think they're doing a drive up someplace as well after that.
Cool.
Which would be pretty neat to do an Urban Outlaw drive. A lot of people saw the video of Magnus and his friends. We were lucky enough to be included in that, driving his 10 cars to the Peterson. They just put a film out last week. That I think people want to do that sort of thing. So now there's like the Magnus Walker Drive. Everyone get to do the same thing we did. They'll be there in their own cars, of course, but still kind of neat to have that experience.
Yeah.
Oh, you got to be in the drive?
Yeah, we drove the blue 993.
Was that over the bridge too?
Yeah,
I saw that.
Went over the bridge a few times back and forth. There was a lot to that. That video made it look easy, and while it did come together exactly how he said it did, there was a couple moments that are not included in there. Woo, thank goodness. There was a bus. Sandra Bullock was driving it, I swear to God. She was not going to slow down for us. Speaking of which, look at that. That's what I was just talking about. There you go. So here are the details on that. Magnus Walker, 10 years of Urban Outlaw at the Peterson, now open. Okay, well, I told you about that already. I'm sorry. Rehearsal? Sure. We should start that in 2023. Definitely.
It's on the list.
Go through some of these things first. Here is your, you know what that is. But it's from Chill. I'll put it on the wall. It's from Chill. New company. CHYLL. Used to be Bronto in the old days, the delivery place.
Cool.
Found them through Kevin, your old friend or someone you used to know, the radio guy. He was going to help us with something on the show, and then he moved to like Texas or something.
Yes.
Kevin Couch.
Kristen's friend.
Kevin Couch?
Yeah.
Okay. None of that was necessary for anyone else, but we did it. We did it.
We got
That's
through
what
it.
you do when you have a husband and wife podcast. All right, so that's what's going on. Hello, Deli, your only source for officially licensed Late Show with David Letterman merchandise. That's right. That's right. You can still get it. The good stuff is only available at Hello Deli. Remember Rupert G. and the Hello Deli? Did you ever watch Letterman?
Yes.
He was the guy who owned the deli outside. And he still, to this day, makes the stuff licensed through Dave. And he sponsors the Letterman podcast, which is our guy over there. And he sends us all the Letterman swag we could possibly want. And it's fun. It's really fun. It's neat that it's still going on when, this is... Do you know that you're in...
I heard rumors.
Yeah. All right.
This is real?
Yeah. The microphone, the desk, the chairs.
Wow. Awesome.
So the Hello Deli makes more sense now. Also, and this is where it gets good. This is our favorite. They say all which separates men and boys is the coverage for their toys. What types of toys are we talking about today?
Anything you want to insure.
That's right. Best answer ever, because it's all encompassing. Well done. In this case, usually collector cars we talk about on this show, but whatever you happen to have, your home, your business, you got heavy equipment, you got yourself a jet ski, snowblower, whatever you want to insure, check out St. Clair Insurance. Licensed in most states, Jeff St. Clair Shop's top provider, so you get the best coverage for your toys. Simply go to www. Get the computer out of the closet, right? This is how old we are. You got to dial up, get on the internet. Honey, get off the phone. I got to get online. Go to www.coverageforyourtoys.com. Coverageforyourtoys.com.
Coverageforyourtoys.com.
Also, while you're there on the internet, I'd like to remind you that this episode is brought to you in part by Series 1 Films. Series 1 Films is your complete resource to develop your brand identity and marketing using video ads and SEO to help your automotive business reach more customers. While you're online, send Series 1 Films a message today to find out more at www.series1films.com. Series1films.com.
Series1films.com.
That's our buddy Taylor, and tell Taylor that Nicole says hello, because sometimes with the MS...
I cannot.
Yeah. But she's a good sport about it. That's it. I think that's all the business, right? Canadian Mike, do you have anything else? Did I skip anything?
I got nothing. We're good.
You're the best. You know what? No. Well, we should plug you. What about the Letterman podcast this week? Who is your guest and what's going on?
the Letterman podcast this week had a really, really cool guest in Will Lee, who was the bass player and performer for Dave for over 30 years. It was a delightful conversation that's leading to other delightful conversations with other people, but there's a lot of buzz about this one. This one here in particular, people are very, very much enjoying.
I very much appreciate that, but I feel like we talked about this one last week. Who's on the show? Who's on the show this week? Is
this Friday,
it a
I'm
holiday
sorry.
break?
No, we have a gal by the name of Marilyn Sargent is going to be on the show. She is a longtime enthusiast of David Letterman. For 16 years, she sent a poem in at Christmas time to the Late Show called "'Twas the Night at the Late Show." And on the very last Christmas Late Show that they're doing a lot of hubbub and retrospect about right now, Darlene Love's last appearance on the Late Show. Dave actually read that poem in the Q&A before the show, and we have the audio of that, which is going to be included in Marilyn's show here. Worldwide Pants and Don Giller have given us permission to add that to the podcast. So it's a very special Letterman podcast this week.
Wow, that's very cool, man. Very cool.
Yeah.
So for any Letterman fan, this is a special one, that type of thing.
Very much so.
Yeah. Very cool. I guess any Letterman fan should be watching the Letterman podcast anyway. I guess that's a given. But specifically on a very special Letterman podcast.
Very special.
If you like Letterman and you like Christmas, you'll like this episode.
Yeah, I like both of those
I
things.
like that.
Right
Yeah.
on. Good on you. And if I'm not, let's see, it would have been that last Darlene Love spectacular performance was amazing. But it would have been was that Christmas 2014, I guess, because he retired in 15. So that's right? Would have
That's right.
It's science. Woody, while you're here, we're going to unpack some mail just because I let the envelopes come out. Excited about this for the mini BMW of Richfield, my home dealership, and the Danbury Chive dealership where he works. These will go on the mini. Very cool. New Danbury Chive stickers. If anybody needs some of these, I know we need to put some new ones on because they have peeled off. And then this is cool. The Ridgefield collection. Oh, they put these on their cars now. From the Ridgefield collection. We'll have to do that as well. Anyway, thank you, brother. Thank you for the plate brackets. That'll be cool on the mini. BMW makes mini, lest there be any confusion.
Good reminder.
Oh, man. All right, Woody. Thanks for tolerating all of that, man. I feel like I should do some sort of really amazing introduction, but I just met you the other day. We thought we would end up putting this together in 2023. Met through Victor at ID Agency. Huge shout out to them. Thanks for the mini tires as well. Speaking of the mini, through Bridgestone. Met you in a parking lot at the Cars and Coffee at the auto show. And anybody I've met through Victor has been pretty awesome, to be honest. But like, you just had a killer energy. We just kind of had a quick vibe real quick, and we wanted to do something. Had no idea it would be this quick. But you are in charge of Acceler8, which you're going to tell us about. And whatever else you want to talk about.
Yeah, we met just before the chaos happened, and we had 50 kids show up all at the same time at the LA Auto Show.
You did?
Yes,
Oh.
and trying to get 50 between the ages of 8 to 14 around the LA Auto Show. That's a feat in itself right there, but yes.
How many were you guys?
How many of us were helping out?
Yeah, that's a lot of kids.
I think we ended up having about 7 or 8 adults total. So we learned, we were really quick. We separated. We got smaller groups. We figured out you have to go be quick when it comes to the education side of it.
But your organization is not new, right? So you actually are sort of used to this. Was it just going to the auto show and that type of environment that was new?
Yeah,
Everybody scatter.
Yes, that was the new piece that we
Okay.
added. It's been building up what we call our experiences. So going back, like you said, our program started about 3 years ago, and we started the day we got everything together and ready to go and open up was the same week everything closed for the pandemic. Oh no! Yeah, so it actually helped us because it gave us that opportunity to really build the program. So we had all that downtime watching Netflix and all the other things we were doing, but we were able to get on our Zoom meetings and be able to talk to each other and build kind of the foundation part of the program.
You knew what you wanted to do. You knew you wanted to attack this issue, this problem,
Yes,
whatever.
yes.
So it was just that you were able to hone it over that dark period of space.
Right. Well, I came to it with experience. So my law enforcement experience is from Ventura County.
How many years?
27 years.
Almost 30 years.
Yes, almost 30 years. Born and raised in Ventura County, so that's where I was from. And I started a program 10 years prior to that, similar to this, and that's where I got the biggest part of it, and built that program up, but knew that I wanted to come and bring it to LA, so we ended up starting a new program with LAPD. So that's where 3 years ago is when we started that part.
But same type of program, just smaller market. Basically, you're doing the same thing, larger.
The education and automotive same, but we definitely wanted to make it bigger because we knew LA was the place. I mean, anything you do with cars, you do it in LA.
Yeah.
So, and that was one of my first phone calls coming to LA was to Victor, and I just remember that he just right off the bat said, "Oh, you're gonna be in LA? You want to start this? Let's do this."
Wow.
And he's been he's a co-founder of the program.
Oh, wow.
Along with Derek Boykins from LAPD. So we were the masterminds that put it all together and really got it going. During that 3 years, I got to retire. So I got to retire this year. So now I got a different role. So
wait, you were still in service while this was conceived,
Yes.
and then that's a really big feat, man. This is all very impressive.
yes, some people ask me, how did you do it? And I can't tell you. I don't know how we did it, but it got done. And I think the biggest part is when you see the look on the kid's face, you see the results, it just causes you to say, okay, let's do this all over again.
Oh, that's the truth.
Let's keep doing it.
The nature of giving type of thing is
Right.
yeah.
Right. And so we knew when we started the Acceler8 program here in LA, that's when everything just started really opening up with sponsors, partners, networks. And then we had the youth, the kids, and that's where we opened up, which was different from our other program. We opened up 14 to 24-year-olds. So we're broadening the kids that are in high school and don't know kind of where they want to go or what they want to do, and then the kids that got out of high school and didn't know what they wanted to do, and now they're kind of in that position where they're not getting the jobs they want. And
Winging it didn't work, kind of
right,
thing. Yeah, okay.
right.
Yeah.
And
That's
for
familiar.
us in law enforcement and military veterans, there's a bunch of us that are car people. We like to fix up cars. We like to, do all the cool stuff to them. We wanted to mix that together because I was a basketball coach in my early years in my career, and I saw how
of
great
of the police
no,
basketball.
it was at a high school.
Oh, I see.
So I was just doing that. I did that for about 2 years, and I'm like coaching the kids, and they're not talking to me, and I'm just like, is this kid even listening? And it wasn't until 2 or 3 years later, I see the kid come back from college. He's visiting, and he comes up to me and shakes my hand and says, "Hey, I just want to thank you for everything you did." And it's like,
So it landed.
I didn't even know you were listening. So that's when it started really clicking that these kids they're sponges, and they're picking
we're
up.
always broadcasting.
Yes, and they're taking it all in and learning from us as law enforcement mentors or as a basketball coach. So that's when we kind of really decided, hey, let's mix automotive, with coaching, and put that together and make that something so the kids can actually learn from. That's where the first program started. That's when we knew we could do even more coming to LA. So
it's literally been your experience that has driven this, because just doing what you've done through life, just kind of, whatever the lily pads of life, sort of has you've just been maybe observing and aware of the issues along the way where you said, I can do more.
Yes, I mean, when you really go into the deep part of the law enforcement, just the law enforcement side of it, I think one of the biggest things that officers have is that frustration that you can't do something. You go to a call, you can't help that kid, you can't get that kid out of that problem because of a legal problem. It's just not all the way to the point where you can take them, but you can see the kids struggling, or you see the kids at the park, or you see the kids getting in trouble, and if they have the right mentor, if they were shown the right way, they'd go the right way. And that's where the program actually even helps the officers, because it gives us an opportunity to actually work.
Have a result.
Yes, we're in a little bit of control, which police officers are control freaks.
I don't think people really I don't think people really realize how not black and white anything in the world is, let alone something in a law enforcement profession, even though you guys are technically black and whites. Like I don't think anybody really realizes like there is no fucking black and white. I mean, shy of somebody just coming up and shooting somebody in the face or something like, okay, well he did that. Everything else is kind of like, well, we don't know. We don't know.
Yes.
I can't imagine how frustrating that must be when you've got like, we all kind of, forgive me for, I have so many questions, but if you'll indulge me just for a moment. We all have kind of that intuition in us, and whether you choose to follow it or not, that's all your own personal choice. But a lot of the people I've talked to in law enforcement, it's like a wicked strong spidey sense. And oftentimes the bureaucracy of the job forces them to go against their spidey sense because they have to follow the law. At least they're supposed to.
Right.
And to me, that was like wow, what a fucking mind fuck, because you can't do the job you're out there claiming to do. Like you can't really, it's a lose-lose.
But it goes back to being a sport, and that's why law enforcement has so many kind of sports connected pieces. People, the officers, they're very sports minded.
Obviously, there's a good side.
But there's it's that same thing where you're on a team and you have a play to run and you have to run that play a certain way. And there's limits and there's out of bounds and so you have to play within those rules.
Yeah.
So that's the part. Yeah, it does get frustrating at times, but that also becomes kind of the fun part of the job is you have to learn how to play within these
How
rules.
to figure out how to get the result.
Yes.
Cool.
And things change. Laws change.
All of the time.
Case laws, all these different things. And that's the fun part of the job where you get to pivot and get to do things differently. And at times you're solving a problem effectively, and then all of a sudden a law changes and now you can't use that anymore.
Right.
So that's what ends up becoming.
Take that tool away.
Right. Or sometimes
Life's
we get
not
some
fair.
added. We don't get too many added. Every once in a while we do.
That would help you mean?
Right. That would actually help.
I wish it weren't so sided. I wish I hate to make your segment about this, but I wish it weren't so sided. I wish it weren't so whatever. Luckily, things have kind of calmed down in that regard, so I guess I'm referring to more like a couple years ago, but it was crazy there for a little bit. I never really understood it. I understood why you would be upset, but I don't think you can brandish everyone in a certain career as that type of person. It doesn't make sense to me.
Oh yeah, those are like many talks, between the officers, and you have to like talk to each other. But it's
Therapy.
Therapy.
Therapize, yeah.
But what actually helps out better is when you talk to other people on the outside. And my last 2 or 3 years, I felt like I had more support from the public than I had before.
Really?
People, I'd walk into Starbucks, and next they're like, hey, someone bought your coffee, and someone bought your lunch.
And you retired kind of in the time that I'm talking about, where I was thinking it was worse. So maybe my perception's off.
No, it was worse, I guess, media side.
Oh, I see.
In the media.
But
what I'm saying is I felt more that people were more afraid, like, hey, don't leave. We don't want you to quit. We don't want you to leave.
Yeah.
We're really behind you guys. So I really felt a bigger push for people being in more support. Just you didn't see that in the media.
Thanks for indulging me on some of that. I guess these are issues that have been on my mind for like a couple of years, and I haven't had anybody to talk to about them on the air. So you took it. Way to take that hit, sir.
All right, $50
Yeah, for real.
for that therapy.
So anyway, you're way qualified to see to see issues and problems based on your history, and then how does it implement itself? How do you decide what to do, where, and like how does it work?
Are we still talking law enforcement?
No, Acceler8. Really,
Acceler8?
I mean, I feel like you are doing something that is equally as good, but now more hands-on, and like you said, you can gain results now.
Right. That's that control part. But at least we have the ability to bring that student or that young gentleman in or lady, which we have a lot of females and ladies like to come in and beat out the guys.
Right.
They come in and now they have that opportunity. It's a safe place, first of all. But now we're going to get them in front of people to learn the industry, learn a career. And what we really promote is the career. Automotive industry is so huge. Mm-hmm. We have a tree we've developed that just shows all the different branches of everything you can do. It's not just wrenching and changing oil. It's just so many different things you can do. So we want them to come in if they want to be a photographer, journalist, they want to have a car show, podcast, anything they want to do.
So you're kind of changing the stigma attached to
Right.
cars, maybe at that age where they don't really realize
Right,
how
and-
much can be involved.
So if they don't realize it, at least when they come in, they start seeing like, oh wow, there's actually an opportunity for me to do something I really do like, and it's car related, and then they get to slide into those positions.
That's interesting. You don't have to just be an auto shop to be driver,
So,
photographer.
When we can bring in, Victor to come in and talk to him about marketing and automotive. I mean, Victor knows everybody.
That's somebody. You're right, though. That's a good
And
example.
You can't teach that in school.
But also, he combined cars and business. I
Yes.
mean, that's
Yes.
cars and marketing. Ugh. Love one, hate the other. But he's so good at it,
Yes.
And you need to have both. I'm terrible at marketing. Can you believe it? So all right. So you have all these different cooks who would all be great running something on their own, but you're all on the same team running this thing.
Yeah, so in our Acceler8 program, what we try to do is, again, we have police officers and we also have military veterans, and we're running kind of the business, as you say, and the outside of it. We're getting all the partners and network. Our instructors, those are our main people, and we've brought in instructors from local colleges, Cypress College down south. We have Russ and Dave, which they actually reached out to us. We were on a KTLA special. They saw it. They reached out. We got tons of people actually reaching out to us on that special.
That's awesome.
And they came out and said, hey, we're teachers. We actually want to do something with you guys. So we reached out to them, and now they've become our instructor committee. And then we're also
awesome.
Yeah, and then we're also reaching out to our fleet mechanics that are working in LAPD. So they're working. Every station has its own auto shop and has its own fleet of mechanics.
Seriously?
That work on the cars in every station.
Never really thought about it, but I guess
Yes.
that makes sense. They have to have their own motor pool to keep everything in.
So we're reaching to them and saying, hey, do you want to help us out and become our instructors?
Oh, wow.
And what's really cool about that piece is a lot of times it feels like the police officers, we're always the ones in the paper, on the news, handing out stickers and coffee with a cop and all that cool stuff. Now we get to pull out the kind of the linemen of the team, and they get to be front and center and actually be a part of helping out the
It's
community.
really cool to see all that goes into things. And I've seen more of that, and it sounds like that's what you're doing by exposing different angles of what's happening.
Yep.
Share the spotlight.
Yep. Bringing them in and letting them have their moment. But for us, it's helping us out so much because now these kids are getting top-notch instruction and real life instruction as far as this is what really happens in the shop. So
Yeah, it's not just like you watch on TV where they build a car in 30 minutes. Right. Yeah.
yes.
No, this is going to take 6 months if we're lucky. Wow.
So with that, as we started the program, and again, as we came out of the pandemic, we had our first class at the Peterson Museum. These kids didn't even know. Like we're in the vault, we're downstairs, we're next to these just crazy cars.
They didn't realize how
F1
lucky they were, you
racing
mean?
Yeah, and they're
Okay.
just kind of sitting there looking around with their headphones in.
Oh, listening to the
Yeah,
guided tour.
no, just listening. No, they're just listening to music. They're just.
Oh, not even taking it.
And I'm like, do you know where you're at? This for the car world. This is the top. But we ended up doing a summertime class with them, and it worked out really well. Kids really enjoyed it. But we brought kids from South LA, Watts, and it was awesome talking to them. And some of them were already involved in some programs we're starting to work with. And, they're going to Alabama to universities when they graduate. So they have a really good push for them to do something outside of just, graduating high school and seeing what happens kind of deal. So that was really great for that first class, but we were still in that pandemic area where we're off and on a little. We were back to, you couldn't go to the museum again. So we came into, what would that be, 21? And we were able to do one more class at the Peterson during the summer, which actually worked out pretty well. Brought in the same kind of organizations, brought those kids in. But
In the vault again? Same
Yeah.
thing? Okay.
Actually, this would have been 22, the summer of 22. And then we just had our second class of an organization down WLCAC, and it's a large location in Watts, and they have kids that come there every day, and we're actually able to do classes with them.
Wow.
So that actually worked, and those were the kids we brought to the LA Auto Show.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yes.
So the kids, they'd all crashed at the same time. That's awesome.
So we were able to bring those out, and then every kid got to ride in an electric car at the LA Auto Show, which was really cool. But during these 2 years, another thing that we started coming up with was what we're calling is the experience. And that's where we're working with Formula Drift. And we're bringing youth. We usually do about 50 at a time, bringing them out to the track, and they get to go out to do a behind-the-scenes tour of Formula Drift. They get to meet drivers. They get to meet the main people of Formula Drift. And that's actually morphed into something really awesome where the last 3 or 4 we've done, the kids actually did track walks. So they got to walk around when the cars aren't going.
Yeah, right.
Parents wouldn't buy off on it.
That's a weird life.
Excuse me, Jay.
Yeah.
There's 2 things. Number one take Matthew wants to make sure he says hi to Charles. The other thing is we've got some questions about people already asking about how they can access the program already. If there's a way that we can talk about how people can get involved, there's already questions about that.
www.acceler8, so it's ACCELER.
Like your shirt there.
Yeah, just like the shirt, accelerate-education.org. And that'll get you into portals where you can actually sign up and give messages. Or you can just go to Acceler8 LA, our Instagram.
Oh.
And you can DM us. That works out really well. we're caught up. We're in there, yeah.
Are you?
Yeah, our Facegram's working good.
Facegram. Are you the one who has to do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, well, geez. Good on you.
1 of 16 jobs.
I have a hard time with it.
Yes. It gets... I've gotten pretty good, but that's where I rely on these students. We reach out to them, and you start talking to
They'll put you on TikTok.
the youngsters. And next you know, they're like, no, you do this. And you record your voice here. You do, okay.
Way easier.
As I take my glasses off.
I know. They somehow can whip out a whole thing together in what appears to be one step. And
Yes.
I'm like, oh, it's 6 stages, and I don't have time for 3
Right.
of them. And
But that's where we're like really seeing that divide in the education of automotive.
the social
is-
media.
Well, the social media, but just the way our next generation, they're tech savvy. And
Excuse me.
bless you.
Excuse me. Sorry, I wasn't sure what to do. I had a panic moment there.
But yeah, they are tech savvy where
Anyone else?
Oh, no.
Everyone's good? Just me? Okay.
but we can't, like, they're looking at us and they're looking at the older teachers, and I've seen this happen before where we had a teacher, 30-year experienced teacher,
Oh.
and they come in, they want to talk about a distributor and the timing light, and the student's just looking at him like, what?
A timing light.
Yeah.
Good luck explaining a timing light and the strobe of it all and everything.
So
She's like, a timing light? Can't even imagine.
so that's what I saw that divide, like, I don't think that's what they want to learn right now. And the teacher's sending them out like, oh, I want
But
you
this
guys
is
to-
what I know how to teach.
Yeah, and they're like, I want you to change the water pump on this car. And so the kid comes back a little while later and goes, oh, I got to take off the entire front end of the car. And this thing, he's like, what? No, you don't. You don't have to do that. Where'd you hear this from? He's like, oh, I saw it here on Google. I YouTube did, and it's right
And
here.
that's the way the other guy did it.
And the guy's like, what is that YouTube thing? God. And he goes over there and he looks at it and he's like, yeah, we got to take off the front end.
Oh, and it was right. The
Yeah, it
YouTube
was
guy.
right, yes.
Oh. That's hilarious.
But that's where we're shifting our education, is to teach the kids the most up to date and get them into the best jobs that they can get into leaving us.
You got me thinking about the timing light. I bet it's just an iPhone app now because it's a camera and a light. I bet it can record, and I bet it just is this, and then you just turn left or right based on what it says.
They probably do have that.
Good Lord.
Now
Again,
it's just a laptop, plug in, we'll do this, and this. There it goes. It's working,
I don't know anybody from my generation who's driven anything not fuel injected. I mean, other than my classic car friends, obviously. But it's not like a regular thing.
Right.
People pump the gas pedal. What would you do that for?
And then
What's
now,
a choke?
and then now we're actually, moving into electric cars. So of course, then people want to tell us, well, electric cars, I'm like, they're all gonna have to be fixed. So
See, that's what I said. But you know what? When Leno was sitting here, right where you are, he said there is no maintenance. He's like, I said, well, what about? He goes, it's wiper blades and tires. And I was like, what do you mean? I go, what about? And as he said it, I was like realizing how right he was. And I was like, well, what about like brakes? And he's like, you really don't need brake pads. It's almost all regen. And I was like, fuck, he's right. And I was literally, and I go, oh, well, then it's just fluids. Washer fluid?
right.
There's no oil. There's no coolant. There's no.
But the scarier part is the electronics.
I'm out.
Yes.
Ones and zeros. I'm out.
Yes, and that's
You
where
can hack my car. I'm out.
But that's where this generation they're right in on that. They're like,
How do you
give
feel
that to
about
me.
it? I don't care about this generation. What do you think?
Like I said, I'm excited for it. I kind of felt that way with law enforcement, that it was changing. It was the changing of the guard, and I was kind of okay. Well, we'll let the youngsters do this. Let them have it. They know what they need to do, and I'll move out. But now I'm seeing that with
Do
automotive.
you mean that in a physicality sort of sense, or in weaponry? Like, in what sense do you mean that?
When we talk about the rules of the game, that the rules changed,
Sliding scale.
and it's a whole new learning system, a whole new offense was being put in.
Oh wow.
And it's kind of like a situation. I relate it to those teams where they talk about it's a rebuilding year. Well, we're going through the rebuilding years of law enforcement.
That's interesting because about 3 or 4 years ago, I told her driving around, I go, is it just me, or does it feel like the Wild Wild West? Because I feel like all the rules that used to apply don't seem to anymore.
Yep.
And I was like, let's not tell too many people that, because I think I might be right. And then if that gets out, like, it's mass chaos. It's interesting to hear you say it too, though, from a different perspective.
I mean, and when I talk about, I'm talking like even deeper into, what the DAs and what the cases are and what the laws are, all those kind of things. All that part moved and changed and shifted, and then as well as.
I think it's still moving and shifting.
Yes, it hasn't settled. It hasn't stopped.
Okay, agree.
And that's the rebuilding year, and that's where I just kind of said, hey, you know what, the young generation, they're gonna fix this. They're gonna figure it out. I keep saying young, but I retired at 50, but.
You don't seem. Moments ago, I was going to say you don't seem young enough to have worked, even that been your entire career, and still retired after 30 years. You don't seem. You feel younger than me. That's what I'm trying to say.
No, we were just able to retire at a certain system that we could retire at 50. I could have done another 3 more years and done my full 30.
It wasn't judgment. I meant about your physical appearance.
No.
You don't look old enough to have. Is all I meant. I'm not.
you.
I'm sure whatever it is worked out for you. I'm not trying to get involved in that. None of my business. But so Acceler8. So what programs? I mean, the auto show was amazing for these kids to come to. Acceler8 education.org. Is that what you said it was? Acceler8.
Yeah, accelerate-education.org.
Yeah, is how people can find out more. But like the partnerships that you guys are involved in. I mean. This is already bigger than I think people might realize.
Yes, I mean we're learning. You just talked about that marketing piece. We're learning that portion of it, that part of it. Luckily, we have an awesome person on our team with Victor, and who teaches us lefts, rights, go here, go there. Let's do these things. So I felt like we've been very effective in at least building what we've done. We feel like this year, 22, was our first full year out of pandemic. We got the 2 classes under our belt. 23, our goal is to do 4 6-week classes, and we're going to move that throughout LA. The other key during pandemic that we kind of really saw and how we did it with the Peterson was mobile. That was something we just kind of dawned on us. This is really cool. We're here at someone else's shop, because one of the biggest problems we have is how do we get the kids from the south to get to the valley if we only have a shop in the valley?
Yeah,
so we decided, let's move it and make it mobile. So that's where we built our truck.
Let's hear it.
And our truck is fully outfitted with all our equipment, so it's our classroom.
Does it have a name?
We call it the Beast.
The Beast.
I actually brought some cool little gifts for you guys.
What do we got here? Oh,
Lane
pins?
Customs,
Oh,
yes.
the pins are going on the wall here for
Yes.
sure. Oh, these
Thank
Lean
you.
Customs are amazing.
And then we actually even had
Wow, you did build a beast. What is this? It's the 450?
250.
250. It
We
looks
got
big.
air fresheners and stickers for you.
Oh, thank you. Pins, air fresheners, and stickers.
Yes.
It's very cool.
Yeah, so the F-250 with the utility bed all in the back. And from there, we ended up outfitting it with our Snap-on tools, working with other companies, building other parts into it. So now we can show up just kind of similar to the Formula Drift team. Show up, park a car next to it, throw up a canopy, put a car on jacks.
So that's
and
it. You show up like a race team.
Yep.
That must be even cooler for the kids.
Yes.
IG's
yes.
down, Dave.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Just letting you know.
Thanks, buddy. He's the best. He's up there in Canada making sure the wheels stay on the train.
Is that where he is?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was here.
Oh, are you joking
Somewhere
with
in
me?
the
Because I
sea.
keep calling him Canadian Mike? I don't know what's wrong with this thing, but I don't want to use your time for it. There are some comments, though, so let's see if any of these are for you. Irene Hoffman says present. Hi, Irene. Hello, Irene. Can't wait to say goodnight to her. Or is that goodnight, Eileen? No, come on, Eileen. Yeah,
Come on in. Mike.
sorry. Happening haircut, Nicole.
Thank you.
Love the haircut, Nicole says MB67. Champagne Woman says, oof, IG is rough right now, but here we all are. But yeah, I know. Sorry about that. I can't, couldn't tell you why. Hello, everyone, says Rob Cates. Hello, Rob Cates. Hi, Rob. Let's see. Welcome. All right, we got a bunch of people here. Okay, well, maybe we have the same people commenting a lot. Let's see. Hi, Rob. Couldn't chat. Maybe none of these are for you. Hang on. I thought some of this would be for you. I'm sorry.
Wait, this is my DM.
How can we find out more about the program? All right, well, we told you that, but I'll say it again just in case. Accelerate8education.org, right?
Yeah, accelerate8education.org.
And the 8 is a number 8,
Yes.
which our Canada Michael take. Yeah. We love accessibility. All right, let's see. Now, this may be the return of Instagram. Let's see. I don't think there were many people in there anyway. We're shifting. We're in the middle of shifting. We're doing another simulcast, everybody, if you didn't know. We're on the Facebook and the YouTube and the Instagram.
It's all right.
You're on the Facegram.
Yeah, all over the joint. You name it. But this is the same thing. Like, in my day, it was like, well, you made a show and it went on a channel and you were done. Till the next show
Right.
to go on that channel. Nowadays, it's like, well, wait a second. I got to do a show and put it on 15 channels? Nope. You've got to do 15 different shows. And I was like, wait, what? Because they don't, I don't know if you know this, but Facebook doesn't want the crap you put on Instagram and YouTube doesn't want the crap you put on Facebook and whatever. They like cross each other's algorithms and they're like, no, you can't do that. We don't want that. So we're fighting the system and we're just throwing it up everywhere.
That's where we need some techies to come in.
The kids.
Yes. The kids
Although
I love your eyes working. It's great.
the kids will put us on TikTok. I realize I said that before, but didn't we? Did they just ban TikTok today? We might ban TikTok in this country.
Oh, did they?
I heard. I don't know.
I know.
I haven't looked it up yet, but I heard that Congress passed. I'll stop playing with that crinkler. Thank you for the gift. This is awesome. This is awesome.
I had one for up there in Canada, too.
Oh, yeah, he loves collectibles. Canada loves collectibles. We got limited edition pins coming your way.
It's true. I do love collectibles, and I appreciate all of them. Thank you very much, Sergeant.
Welcome.
Retired, but still, I say sergeant because respect.
Yeah,
you know.
I'm trying to wing that off.
Are you?
Needless to say.
It was written on the bio that I received from
No,
you.
I know. No, I'm trying to.
Oh,
I'm trying to.
this is amazing. You're awesome. I will make sure he gets these as well. Let's see. What haven't we talked about? How do you feel about electric cars? You've been a car guy your whole life, right?
I'm definitely, open to it. I'm liking it. I've driven a few. I have that apprehension. What was it called? The battery fear or whatever it's called. The
Battery fear. Oh, you're right. Range anxiety.
range anxiety. Yes.
Battery fear. Right on.
So I definitely have that where maybe if I had one and I actually did it for a while, I'd feel more comfortable.
Like anything else, you get over the fear.
Right.
Or it makes it worse because it's genuine pain in the ass. Because then you have that anxiety, and then you get to the station, and this one's broken, or
Yes.
10 people are using it, or there's a line.
You're chasing it around. People I've talked to have not had a problem that I know of.
Really?
Yeah, they seem like everything's been pretty good. I've heard people go all the way to Phoenix.
Who are you talking
here.
to?
Some police officers.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Personal cars? Mm-hmm. All right. As long as it's personal experience, because like the personal people I've talked to, like Matt Farah and stuff, who've tried it in press cars and such, or Johnny Lieberman it's hit and miss depending on what you get and where they are. Now it's getting better, of course, because it's new infrastructure. Like you were saying before, we're in that growth period. What'd you call
We're
it?
in that pivot.
Rebuilding year.
Yeah,
rebuilding
year.
We're
Yeah,
in the
we're definitely in the
rebuilding
rebuilding years on that one. But I just don't know how I feel about it as a thing. Is it really, like, I'm a zoom out kind of guy. So no matter what somebody's hardcore telling me, I'm like, well, there's obviously another side. Remember that black and white? There is no.
Right.
So like whatever they tell me about, but fossil fuels, meh. And I'm like, okay, I'm not like some fossil fuel hardcore, like, no, burn oil, yeah, got the thing with the black smoke coming out. I'm not that guy. Yeah, that's this guy.
Yeah, as we have an F-250.
But I'm not convinced that electric is actually a lesser footprint. It's apparently not right now when it comes to like, all it takes to get the car to the road and whatever. And then you have to actually have it driving on the road for 5 or 6 years if it's going to actually make the imprint. And a lot of people aren't doing that,
Right.
et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I don't know where we actually stand on it. I don't know if there is an answer, but that's really my holdup of anything I actually get invested in. Like, I don't want to get invested in it if it's going to go away again. I remember my when I was a kid, who killed the electric car? Remember that?
Right.
I drove the EV1. It was made by Saturn, but it was GM's EV1. It was the first like mass-produced electric
And
car.
what year would this been?
This was 96 for me. My dad had just died. Might have been early 97, late 96, early 97. Believe me, it's a timestamp in my life. But it was the only time I worked at Saturn, and so they sent me down to Saturn training in Spring Hill, Tennessee. But we drove this thing around the racetrack, and while it was dopey and weird, there was a very interesting future there that we all were like, yes, this. And then it went away completely to the point where there's like 40 left, one being in the Peterson. They sunk them all in the ocean or something. Like they chopped them up. They're done. I don't think that'll happen to that level again, but maybe it will. I don't know.
But that's where when everybody's not on the same page and pushing it and keeping going, all of a sudden the 40 die off.
So that's
Whereas-
so the thing is I should get on board and then go hardcore and then keep it because then it won't go away.
No. It's going to be an option out there.
Okay.
As far as it's going to be one of those levels. That's what I see it kind of transpiring to.
That's interesting.
I can't see
that'll
being
always be both.
all
Whoa, that's a
electric.
weird. I don't know why I didn't consider that.
Yeah, I think it's going to
It's
be. I
usually the
mean,
answer.
we still got hydrogen coming into the
I was
the
big
mix.
into that one too, but they were like,
And-
and nitrogen.
Oh, not nitrogen. I
There's
haven't heard that
nitrogen too.
one.
There's all
Wow.
sorts of them.
So
The hydrogen's the one that it just runs on water, right? Basically, you put like some
right.
distilled water in your thing, and it runs for like 1,000,000 miles.
I have these same conversations with my dad. My dad's like, he doesn't want nothing. He just wants to drive his car, get out of here with all that
I
stuff.
still like a manual
Yeah.
transmission. You know what I mean?
And I talking to him about electric cars, and he's just get out of here kind of deal. But I just laugh because I feel like, what did they do back when that guy showed up in the first gas engine?
When
to a
everybody
bunch
had
of people?
horses.
Yeah, and he's like, look what I'm gonna do, and they're like, get out of here.
Yeah, giddy up, motherfucker.
It's not gonna work. They're like, man, that Ed is like losing it.
Yeah.
He's got to go.
Rode in on his iron horse.
And now it's like we all have 2 or 3, So it's like
Yeah, you're right.
I think
bet the
it's-
television was pretty crazy at one point.
it's that rebuilding year.
Here's the only reason I don't think it's the same. Because it's another version of the same thing. If somebody came out with an electric, a gas-powered horse, like that would be the automobile was better than the horse. It was like across the board. Unless you liked riding a horse, it was better. I'm not convinced that's the case with electric yet. Like, I think this is just another way to do a car. And like, well, all right, well, we've been doing that for years. Until somebody actually comes out with a better car. Remember, we were supposed to have flying cars by year 2000. Now, that's the worst idea in the world. I hope that never happens. But we're actually closer to that than a lot of the other things.
Yes. But it's crazy how cars drive themselves. I know the same friend that has a Tesla had a video showing how they walked out of a restaurant and they just hit send or some, and the car
comes
backs
and
up and parks right in front of the place. And oh my God, that's just crazy. But
it's crazy.
That's where all the technology is being pushed into those things. So that's where I see the difference, as far as how cool and how good it is. But then I hear those battery problems and, some other issues, the charging, things like that. So I'm like, I'm not all the way on the team yet.
And then I go full fear on like, oh, but it's just a computer, so it's hackable. So like, what about when somebody goes, all right, well, all the red ones smash into the blue ones, and like, all right, everybody, magnet mode, clunk,
Yes, yeah. See,
'Cause it's all one
you'd be a good
system.
police officer. You'd be a great. You're always thinking of the.
I don't know if I would be. Hey, you're gonna bring the. I mean, from the Minority Report, right? The guy who does it in the future. I know what you're gonna be up to in 3 years from now. I can see it in your eyes. I'm sorry. It's the holidays, and it's been a bit of a disaster day. I don't know that you've gotten the best of us, but how do you feel about this
We're winding this year
experience?
down. We're closing everything up today, folks.
I remember when 2020, this is going to be the year. I don't feel like
Man,
we've recovered.
We started so strong,
That was the year.
and then March, everything closed.
I just don't feel like we've recovered. That rebuilding year, we're still in it.
Yes.
It's year 3 of the rebuilding year for us.
Remote working, like all these different things. Some of the companies we work with, they have people that are still working from home.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just
Really?
like, yeah. It's like, wow, I thought we were all back.
I thought so
And,
too.
Yeah, no, they have a lot of stuff.
I've heard that weird half and half thing too. Like some people don't know.
Well, I know Tesla doesn't want to go back to work, and Elon Musk wants them to. Speaking of electric cars. Not Tesla, Twitter.
Oh, Twitter.
Sorry.
Oh,
Good. The big T's. Elon Musk and the big T's.
It's a different reason for not going to work, though, right?
I don't know. Does he go into the office?
I don't,
Is there
no,
an
no,
office?
it's not that. I thought there was some issue where he was saying either come in or
Yeah, I think
yeah,
it is.
yeah,
Or be gone.
right. So
So I think he thinks it's over like you do. Is it over? Canada Mike, you have been somewhat silent this evening, but I have a feeling that this is the type of guest that you would ring out on the HeCast podcast because of simply someone who is this good. You tend to... anyway, do you have anything for our friend Woody here?
Well, you're certainly right about that. I mean, I host a men's mental wellness podcast, Charles, that, or Woody, I guess I should say,
Either
that we've had quite a few law enforcement, professionals in all different aspects on, and we talk about all sorts of things like PTSD and all of that kind of stuff. And I look at you and I think that you seem to be a guy who's kind of the bridge. You've got the stigma and the stereotype of the past, and you see the problems that are out there and all that kind of stuff, and you're actively looking for a solution. I absolutely love that this was inspired by seeing opportunity to help young people be better and look for better things and expand their minds. What a thing that you're doing here. What have been some of the highlights that you have seen when it comes to success cases or aspects of that inspiration that have flowered into something that has just stoked your fire for this?
Oh well,
Damn, good
definitely.
question.
Thanks for all the good comments. I didn't know where you were going to go with that at the beginning there. You're kind of like a, but no, I think with my other program that I had, and with total now almost 13 years of doing the program, I mean, I just have all kinds of different memories of students that came in. We had one student came in, loved the program. He was the hardest working, but he had 2 older brothers that actually were in jail at the time, and he was just like, I do not want to go that direction. And to the point where we actually did a jail tour, and he didn't want to go because he knew one of his brothers was in there. So he ended up being the top kid, and now he's working at one of the dealerships back in Ventura County.
It's kind of a scared straight program, right? And he's like, been there, got it. I already got that lesson.
We don't do it as rough. It's more of a tour.
Yeah, but
we don't lock them into cells.
No,
and
but
stuff.
to imply this, you don't want to be here, right?
Right,
Kids
right.
don't make bad choices, that kind of thing.
And he didn't want to see
I
his
feel like
brother.
he already got that lesson.
Yeah, and then there was other examples. You know, a student came in. He came in with a problem with graffiti and
Spelling?
graffitiing walls and other people's property, defacing other people's
Oh, I
property, and ended up getting, I think it was like a $20,000 fee that he owed the city for it. Fine. And
What kind of cop are you,
he,
sir?
well,
You owe me.
It's different with the city than the other one, but
Sorry.
but he ended up coming to our class, was an awesome student, ended up going to college, and so at the end at our graduation, they ended up wiping that entire fee or fine
Sorry.
away,
Wow.
and to see the parents back there crying because they saw their son actually.
Oh, they probably expunged
go
the
the
record
right-
and whatever.
Well, it was the city side of it. It was just that fine that they were really worried. Other thing because
Oh, I
he was
get it.
younger.
It wasn't a. I see. I get it.
Yeah.
It wasn't a criminal endeavor. It was a. But you have to.
Right, because of all the stuff we had to fix. We had to clean all these other areas up. We're going to charge you, the family, for his mistakes.
Fair.
And he ended up doing the work in our class to a point where he actually went to college. And so they expunged all of that.
That's beautiful.
And so the stories like that just like it just keeps happening. And with us here in LA, we've had we had one student from the Peterson class who's now owns his own detailing company, Diego's Detailing. So if you need your car detailed in the Valley.
No way.
Yeah. So he started his own company out there and he's out there every day. We have him come out and do our truck every once in a while.
Beast.
Yes. The Beast.
Where did this get the name, the Beast?
I think it's a cop thing.
Oh, okay. Is it really a cop? The big truck's called the Beast.
Yeah.
I don't know if I knew
always
that.
kind of go that direction.
I don't know if I knew that. That's very.
If somebody out there has a better name.
No, I love it. I just happened to see.
No, like a different name.
But I happened to see a movie last night that I hadn't seen before, and there was a truck in it like this, and they called it the Beast. And so when I asked you if it had a name, in my mind I was like, I wonder if it's got a name like the Beast, and it sure did.
See, so we kind of went to
Yeah.
the easy, but like I said, if maybe somebody had a.
Oh, but I had never
different,
heard it
a little-
before. Oh, I thought it was.
okay,
I thought it
no.
was unique. I thought this was one hell of a coincidence. That's how dumb I am. I had no idea that cop's name truck is the Beast.
But going back to the mental health part,
Yeah.
it's a coincidence that in our program, so working with the city of LA, we're working in a special unit city or the LAPD CSP program, which is a community-based program. So officers are actually assigned certain neighborhoods and they work those places. They go to the rec center and they hang out with the kids. So when we're going and looking for kids to join the program, we're going to those officers and they're saying, hey, get this kid, this kid. That's where we found Diego was one of the officers knew to bring them in. But within the organization they have with all the other nonprofits they work with, they have actually mental health too. So we're actually able to bring kids in. Maybe it's a situation where the student themselves are having problems.
Getting the youth helpful with their mental health.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
And as well as
why we need
families.
Yeah.
So sometimes the scenario is kid comes into to talk to us or talk to whatever part or group they're talking to, and we think it's them that have the only problem. We'll come to find out it's the entire family. Father's laid off, mother might have some mental issues that she's
It's
not
usually
dealing with.
so much
Right.
wider.
Tip of the iceberg.
So with LA, they're able to actually go to them and actually get them all services.
Wow.
And next you know now
That's awesome.
now the entire family stabilizes.
It's huge.
Yes.
Changes lives.
Yes. So it's really exciting to be our program, but then to be involved in all of that so that we're getting those results.
That's huge.
You mentioned the LAPD involvement. Have you done anything with the sheriff's department? And I'm asking for a reason, and there's no wrong answer.
No, not yet. It's just we just really worked with LAPD as far as because we have an officer who's actually on LAPD.
Sure.
I come from law enforcement, so it's just a perfect match.
Sure.
And then that's just a huge monster in itself to work with. As far as just so many different areas that we can cover. I think there's 22 different divisions. But we are looking to talk with Kelly County sheriffs.
The only reason I was asking was they have a program called Sheriff's Department, LASD, Motorsports.
Yes.
And you're familiar with that, where they go to you mentioned hanging out with the kids at the rec centers and everything. It sort of sounded familiar with they'll hang out with the kids there and then take them to the racetrack and, let them fool around and fart around in a place where you can.
Right.
That sounded like it would be a good pool of talent for your program.
No, definitely. We've talked to them. We've had discussions about how we could work together on different aspects of it. One of the big aspects is like the whole street racing, street takeovers,
Taking that down.
and
Saying
pushing
it's not
them to
cool.
go out to Irwindale and be able to do it out there. We're not going to stop it, but we just want you to go to a place where you can do it as safe as possible.
It doesn't make sense to do it on the street. It's dumb.
No,
It's really dumb. There's so many more ways to have fun.
but it goes all the way back to, street racing was a big thing, 40s and 50s. And
Don't say that. My grandfather never did that. King of the mountain, Mulholland Racers and all that
Right,
shit. It's been
right.
around a long time. It's not a new problem.
But then they closed all the tracks, so people couldn't even go to those. So it's just again that fun part of always trying to solve problems.
Sliding scale.
Yes,
Everything's in movement at all times.
it's always going to be there, even when we're all gone. It's still going to be in motion, always being fixed.
What kind of stuff are you into personally? Like, I feel like I really like you. I'm curious how you spend your time when you're not doing all this stuff.
I'm an exciting part of my life because I'm retired, which is really cool. But my kids are young, so I have a 5-year-old and a 9-year-old. So now all of a sudden,
tons of energy. For somebody who's retired, you have tons of energy.
I do.
Yes, I think so.
Maybe I just see it differently because I'm just like when I get home. But
Oh, I feel like you're glowing with energy right now.
No,
Mike, do you agree?
Yeah, 100%. I don't think you could do what you do without having some sort of sixth gear of energy there that many folks just don't have.
and I mean, I think it just comes again when you see the outcomes and you see the great people you get to work with. It just that just like drives you and keeps pushing you. But for me, with my little ones, they push me. So now all of a sudden, I'm trying to be on a PTA board and I'm going to take over. And no, I'm not doing all that.
You don't have time for that.
No,
I couldn't
no.
even imagine like another board position.
Right.
Although that's what ends up happening in this world is you end up, oh, you'll be on my board, I'll be on your board, you'll be on this board and that board.
Yes.
Like, I guess it's how it works because then you're all moving together in the same direction, which I guess is the big goal. But
Right.
It's an awful lot to keep track of.
Yes. So yeah, no PTA, but it's really cool to be able to take the kids to and from school, and I'm not worried about as many other things that I used to be worried about. So that gives me
you're
more
not just
time.
sitting on the couch watching movies.
No. Oh no, not with this program. We got lots of different things going on all the time. Always trying to get into new areas, meet new people, trying to figure out how we're gonna pay for the classes for the next year, things like that. So definitely plenty to do.
How does that all work? Do you do fundraisers? How does it all work?
So we're a nonprofit, and everything we do is foundations, grants, and fundraisers.
Right.
So that's kind of where we're at. We're in the books as far as like what we're going to do this year for fundraisers. We're thinking something about a car meet, car get together kind of deal.
Let us know how we can help with that. Maybe up at Good Vibes on a Friday. If you ever wanted to do something like that,
Perfect.
tied in, just let us know. We would be more than happy to help facilitate.
That would be awesome. And
Victor's really good with that stuff too, as you know.
yes,
He's like really good.
he's
He's like, I want to throw you a party for the February's or anniversary of doing the show or whatever. It's just he's so good at thinking of that stuff.
he's my I don't want to say my sensei. I mean, I've just learned so much from him.
Yeah.
But he's taken what I've learned and what I've done at just totally different levels. But that's where we want to teach the kids to surround yourself with people that are going to push you and take you to those levels, take you out of your comfort zone and take you into higher places. We do that with every class. Every class we sit down and we have discussions with the kids, and we end up talking to them about different things that you don't think, I thought we were just going to turn wrenches. No, we're going to teach you. We're mentoring. We're teaching you the future, and things out there. Someone's trying to break in.
Don't mind us. They're having some issues backstage. They're throwing 55-gallon drums. I think someone's getting their water bottle delivery next door is what it sounds like. Well, let us know how we can help you in the future because I love what you're doing. I really like you, which is perhaps even more important when it comes to doing stuff with people. Don't be a stranger. Like, know that we're a resource to you. If there's ever anything we can do, whether it's the show or other stuff, just keep us in mind.
Definitely.
Know that we're around
So
for you.
we're learning all this. We're always on the. I don't want to say we're always on the learn, but we're always learning
On the learn.
how to be able to put everything together, bring our networks together, and do more with them.
That's it. I'm not good at that part. So, like, I want to impress Victor by at least saying a couple times that we're trying. We're trying to put this together.
And Vinny.
Vinny Russo. Oh, my
Yes,
God. I love
yes.
Vinny Russo.
Love
So
him.
definitely. But so I was going back to our. We still got a little bit of time.
Sure.
All right. I was just going back to our yearly, I said our grants and everything, but one of our big thing too is sponsors.
Oh, yeah.
So, we work with Borla Exhaust, Borla Performance. Going back to EVs, they actually have, I don't know if you saw it, but they have a system.
Yeah. I mean, I'm aware of it.
Okay. It's awesome. It's actually very interesting. We wrote in it. Very interesting. It vibrates, everything.
Yeah, it's like a THX seat for your EV,
But
right?
I mean, it's
I mean,
very realistic. Very.
Well, because there's
And-
subwoofers and everything, right? I
Yes,
mean, it's like
yes.
rumbles.
And it was funny to like pull up next to people, and you almost want to ask, "Hey, what do you think? Is this gas or is this electric? What do you think?"
Got the gas pack, glass pack.
Yeah.
Whatever it was in the old days, glass pack.
Yes. And then we have Lucas Oil and Slime, which are all there helping us with
Slime?
Slime products.
I love Lucas Oil. I use their little upper engine lubricant all the time in both cars. I have no idea what slime is.
So Slime products it's the green slime you put in your tires.
Get you clean, won't turn you green. I remember that from Double Dare.
No, but it started out with
You put it in your
bikes.
okay.
Yeah, it started out with bike tires, and then now they've morphed into huge products, all kinds of products they have for your cars.
Instead of air, it's a slime that you put in. So that
Yeah,
it
so
doesn't.
it's a green. You can actually coat your tire with it first. So if you do get a puncture, it'll automatically seal it.
Oh, get out of town! It's a fix a flat. It's a fancy
Yes,
fix a flat.
yes.
Holy crap!
Right. So that's one of the companies we were
What's
working
it called?
with. Slime, SLIME,
an
Slime
old
products. Out of San Luis Obispo.
Wow.
Joe Bowman. But
Joe Bowman. All right.
Joe Bowman, he would be
You
a
call
show.
up Slime and you ask for Joe.
He would be a show guest that you would. It would be 2 hours.
Really?
Yes.
That's hilarious.
He's awesome.
Joe Bowman. All right. Do you want to open some viewer mail while we're here? I mean, do you mind if I open some viewer mail while you're here?
No, go ahead.
Okay.
I'm
We usually do this at the end of the show. I'm going to bring Mike back in here too because I missed him today. There was a period where we were hanging out all the time on the show, and I feel like it's not lately. Oh, wow. All right. It's a care package from our buddy Gunnar Mensch. Aloha. He's on the Big Island, where the wind gusts are 111 miles an hour for the next 3 days. What the shit is that about?
It's a friend of mine moved to the island and just,
He's on the Big Island. 27 degrees, winds 111 miles an hour for the next 3 days.
It was that
Wow.
part of the cause of that airplane, the turbulence that threw everybody to the roof.
I don't
don't
know for a
think
fact,
so.
but I would have to assume so. Like, you don't hit, I mean,
That sounded really.
we've been to Hawaii many times, and on the windiest day, in the biggest storm, I don't think it broke that. We were never there for a hurricane, though.
I don't
That's just crazy.
I
to me.
don't think so.
Anyway, we got some stuff from Gunnar Mensch here. We've got some stickers and what look to be PCA coasters from the, what is it? It's not the Big Island region? Porsche Club of America, Big Island, Hawaii. Yeah, Big Island region. So thanks, Gunnar. Let's see here. The worst. Yeah, I'm the worst. Malakalikimaka. May your Christmas be filled with love and joy. Love, Gunnar. 2022. What a guy. And he sent you a calendar. Use your words, Jay. It's a calendar. It's a calendar. All 12 months are included. Usually they throw in a 13th for free. Not this time. But beautiful shots of the Pink Pig here, which has visited Breakfast Club. And it's been all... Oh, that's nice. The 80 miles an hour. It's got to be Texas or maybe Montana looks more like. Anyway, good stuff. We love you, Gunnar. Thank you very much for the care package. He's such a great guy. Have you met like the most amazing people through this freaking car community?
Yeah, I mean, just people.
No.
People. No, I mean, it just comes at you before you even, you're not anticipating it, and the next you know, you're meeting Ryan from West Coast Customs, which at the auto show, how things just work out just right. And we showed up. We were actually late, and we showed up, and he just showed up. And then he wanted to meet the kids, so we brought the kids to the back, and he
That's
actually
cool.
signed posters.
It's
And
down in the basement. They had that whole
yeah,
setup
and that
thing,
right
yeah.
next to the Galpin
Yeah, maybe
location.
it's not a basement, but whatever that.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not where the other thing is.
And but no, how the kids were just like jazzed that they got to see him. Over the years, I had one area where I had a gentleman who said he could get us into the Carroll Shelby location in Gardena, and this is before he passed away, about a year before.
Yeah.
And we're like, no, there's no way. Next thing you know, he's like, come on down. So we get there, he drives us into the place, and now we're in the Carroll Shelby, like all his
Shelby
his
American or
collector.
whatever it was,
Yeah,
yeah.
down there in I think it's Gardena.
It was the old Michelin plant, I think.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And it was just, and we're like, okay, we're not going to see him. And all of a sudden, here he comes. He comes wheeling by in his little 3-wheeler.
Oh, no way. He was
And-
still alive.
Yes.
Cool.
And we got to talk to him for about 20 minutes. And we're like, oh my God, you know who we just saw?
He was made for that type of thing. Mm-hmm. Like, I bet he loved doing that, talking to those kids and kind of hyping them up. He was just a hype man, you know? Not
Yes.
just a hype man, but he was a really good hype man.
Yep.
So, like,
he
I
just
could
sat there
see
and
him
talked to us.
inspiring,
And-
lighting the lights.
And he was immediately like, hey, I got a school here. I want you to go here. I want you to do this. And he's like, see you guys later. And he's wheeled off on his cart.
That's awesome.
But no, yeah, it's just so many different people that we've been able to interact with and connect with. Right now we have Eric Hendricks from
Yeah.
the Minnesota Vikings.
He comes up to Breakfast Club, too. He's a cool Porsche guy, too.
Awesome dude. I mean, and
Awesome dude.
We just met him last Super Bowl into the mid year.
Were you at the Super Bowl?
No, he was here at an event.
Oh, I see.
And we
We met him at the Super Bowl. I was like,
no,
Music
that's
so
that's
loud.
yeah, that's. I was watching it on TV, but we were at an event, actually at Auto Conduct event at downtown.
those guys are great, too.
Yes, and ended up all working out that he was looking to join a program because he's really into automotive. And I come around the corner like, hey, that's a program we need to go to. So it took us most of the year to kind of put everything together, like what we were going to do and how we were going to do it. So then ended
How
up
do you
becoming summer
utilize-
camp. Yeah, how are
How do
we
you
going to fit
utilize
this
his
in?
celebrity into...
And we didn't have classes running yet, so we were trying to vibe everything together. But we really see 23 once he gets back from football after he wins the Super Bowl.
Awesome,
right?
dude.
Right?
Right. Put it out there.
Yep. The best linebacker.
I don't know anything about sports. I have signed
that's a whole
footballs
that's a whole nother video.
from like Gronk and stuff. Like, hey Jay, thanks, that was fun. Like, because I worked with these people, I have no idea who anybody is.
But it's such a cool thing to see somebody who has that status, pro football player. But if you really look at everything he's doing, it's what we want to teach the kids.
He's using it for good, yeah.
Yeah, he had to work hard. He had to make the grades, and he had to do everything he needed to do to get to that position and get what he wanted. That's what we want to teach the kids. So sometimes you have to take the extra class, or you have to stay over late, and you have to do things.
I
Sacrifice.
love that you're exposing people
Yes.
because that's the thing that no one knows. And there's so much like Serena. I used to work with Serena Williams. She used to get that question a lot of like, "What do you do?" And she's like, "No, everyone can run, but you have to train your brain to work."
Work harder. And,
Yeah.
And you see him, like I'll see, you see his videos and stuff. He's doing extra trainings, and he's out meeting other people, networking, but he's training with them. So he's learning the game and
He's
getting
picking it up from different
pieces
facets, yeah.
to become even better.
Yeah.
And those are things, again, we want to teach the kids. Like, you gotta always be working harder than somebody else.
It's crazy.
So he's gonna be a perfect piece to come in, and he's excited. He's a car guy.
You should get Kevin Hart too. I feel like he'd be for that same type of message, all that endless energy and totally inspirational and big time car head.
Yep. We'll see how.
I love what you're doing. Anything we can do to help. These are some pictures that showed up the other day at Breakfast Club from Lewis. Smile No is the Instagram. Oh, geez, nobody can see that. Sorry. Here we go. This will be a little better. There's Yellow Car on the Move. It's a really cool print. There is here's the Mini on the Move. This was actually the first picture taken in the
Are
Mini.
your eyes closed?
Yeah, I always drive with my eyes shut. Yeah, especially on the crest. Especially on the crest. And then this is just I thought was very cute and pretty, and I thought it was very thoughtful the way he took it and then shared it with us. And it's a race truck in the background. It looks like it might be a fire truck. Yeah, I wish it was. It's not. It's like a race truck. It'd be cool. If it was Pierce or Sebring or one of those guys. Seagrave. Did you ever? You must have had firefighter friends.
Yeah. No, we always had our banter.
Yeah, right. The back and forth.
It's actually funny in my city. We actually
He's like friends.
I went to high school with one, and he became a firefighter. I became a police officer.
It's like a gay friend. Like I went to high school with one.
Well, I mean, that was my kind of watching
That's
us
as
both
close as
grow
I've ever
up.
been to a firefighter.
No, we always had fun with them, and
Is it like the Army and the Navy type of thing? Because you're both in service to the community, where that's why there's just like why wouldn't we be competitive because it's fun? Or
Pretty
is
much.
it like fuck
Pretty
those
much.
guys? Is it really fuck those guys?
No.
Fuck those guys who are protecting people's lives and property.
Right, they have their plus and minuses, and we have our plus and minuses. But it was funny when you got us together. We all wanted to ask. We wanted to drive the fire truck, and they wanted to, ride in the police car. So
Is that true?
Yeah, it was always like us wanting to work, doing the other person's job. Just to kind of see it.
Oh, for sure.
But then when we started, like, oh, you going to fires? We're like, no, we're not going to do that.
That's hard. Yeah,
we'll stay outside.
That's really hard. And do you see the drillings they do to have to be strong enough to then do that with all that crazy gear,
Yes.
60 pounds of gear and everything?
Yes.
I think both of those jobs are just above and beyond. I salute everybody who does them, including you, sir.
Thanks, sir.
Retired.
Retired.
Basically 30 years.
Pretty much. 30
Pretty much
years.
30 years. Pretty much. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for
Thank you
sharing both not only the organization, but you and your personality and your energy. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, us, the program, everybody.
It's the holidays. We are.
Yes.
I mean, this is almost it. It's like Thursday, by the way, will be our last show before the holidays, everybody. I'll plug it now. Why not? Sure. We're done. We're back on Thursday. We're doing cookies in the kitchen. Producer Aria will be cooking cookies live. That's right. Is that right? Cooking cookies?
Baking
cookies.
cookies.
Baking. She bakes cookies. That's what you do with cookies. You bake them. She's going to be baking cookies live, and our guest in studio will be Sean Bishop, although I don't know how much of a guest it'll be. More like it's just going to be hanging out for the holidays. We'll probably just be making fun of her making cookies in the other room. And hanging out with you, and we don't drink, but there'll probably be some eggnog and stuff like that. So please come hang with us next Thursday, 5 for the holiday show. Next week, there are no official shows, but we will be popping up from time to time. Speaking of holiday cheer. And that's what's going on. You already heard the Letterman podcast this week is Marilyn Sargent, who has been in the Letterman family, the Letterman fan family, for a very, very long time. She was part of that, what was it, Dave Con they used to do every year, and I know that she's known Don Giller for years and years. So she's a name that the fans would know, and a good guest for you.
This is the first episode we actually talk about AFL. So we're up. This is episode 42 or 43 that's coming out this week, and it's the very first time we actually mention AFL and all of that stuff, and some Dave Con stuff. And then it's just
AFL,
it's a
for
great
anybody who
episode.
doesn't know, was Alt Fan Letterman. That's how old we are, from the AOL chat room days, with alt.fan.letterman.
Mom, I'm on AOL.
Yeah, welcome. You've got mail.
You can't talk on the phone.
See, you get it. All right. That's what's going on. We love everybody. I love you. We love you, mister. Thanks for coming in, Woody. Sorry Victor couldn't make it, but this was a blast. It was great hanging out with you.
Yes.
Is this
We'll catch
FD
up
Fire
soon.
Department, or is it FD something else?
Formula Drift.
Oh, jeez. Oh.
I know everyone says that fire department. No, it's Formula Drift.
Well, it seems to be like the font and logo styling of like life up there, and I just I see it in both places. We love you. We love you up there in Canada too, buddy. You have Christmas, right? You guys celebrate that.
We do. We have Christmas, and we even have the day after. We've got a 1-2 punch: Christmas and then Boxing Day.
Oh, so you do
we've got-
Boxing Day too.
We do. Yeah.
See, now I think
So
of you
it's,
guys as being more French than British, and I think of Boxing Day being a British thing. Am I wrong about that?
I think so.
Oh, okay. Well,
the Brits and
But
the
another
French
one.
split us up pretty good.
All right. Well, enjoy both. We'll see you on Thursday, though, right? You'll be here.
Oh, I cannot wait. I can't
All right,
wait to
good stuff.
finally I get to hang out with Sean.
I was just about to say Sean Bishop, so get your top 10 questions ready. All right. All right. We love everybody. Let's get the hell out of here. Have a great night. See you soon. Thank you.
Great episode, kids.